Alright, so this is another dream that I recently had. I had asked the Most High, I call him Yah now, many people call him God. I basically asked to know the true name of the Son that many people call Jesus. I wasn't sure if it was Yahushua, Yehoshua, Yeshua, Yeshua. Um, I wasn't, I know it's, I know it's Emmanuel, you know, but, so maybe a couple of days later, it might have actually been the same day. I think it was the same day, actually. It was on the Shabbat, on the Sabbath, on Saturday. And I'll tell you about that too. But for now, actually, I'm going to back up. So maybe sometime last year, I think it might have been in December, maybe, I had asked the Most High to show me if maybe 10 or 11 years ago, I was living in the Bronx and this guy came up to me. Yeah, I remember what he looked like. He had dreadlocks. I think he was wearing glasses. It was a black guy. He came up to me. He was lighter skinned. And he said, I think he noticed me using my left hand because I was born left-handed, but my granddad made me use my right hand. He said, boys aren't supposed to be left-handed, on and on. So I don't know what I was doing, but I had got to the laundromat and he was like, oh, you're left-handed. I was like, yeah. He asked me my name. I told him my name, and it starts with a J. So he's like, oh, that's different. He's like, oh, that's specific. That, doesn't happen that often, and that's special, or something like that, he said. I said, oh, really? As you know, in the Bronx, people are always coming up to you with nonsense. That's just a thing that happens. Strangers, like, usually people don't talk to you that you don't know. When they do, a lot of times, it's strange stuff. Anyway, he talked to me for a little bit, told me about the King James Version 1611. He told me that the black people here in the United States and other places are the house of Israel. And I listened. He was a very nice person. He didn't ask me for any money or anything. I realized he's just trying to give me information. So I listened to what he said, and it made sense, but I really, after he gave me his number, he told me I can come to Bible study and all this stuff. And I was like, okay. I had his number. I don't think I ever texted him. I might have once or twice, but I never went to the Bible study. I think he had a website and a card, all this other stuff. But he didn't ask me for anything except if I wanted to go to the Bible study. So I went on about my business. I really didn't think about it anymore. So some other things happened, and I'll get into that in another video. Now, that was like 10 or 11 years ago. I think I was 19 or 20. I'm 30 now. So, like I said, I went on. 10 years later, last year, around the end of the year, something, I was getting like I don't know, I've been having all these visions and dreams and things, and I knew something was going on, but I wasn't quite sure what. And I had been given information about the people here in the United States being the house of Israel, which we obviously are. I mean, there's no disputing it. Now, I don't say that because the man told me that. I asked the Most High. I started reading the Bible, and, some other things happened. I had some spiritual things go on from the Most High. And I started reading the Bible for myself. And the church I was going to I took an experience that I had to the church, and I took words that I had from the Bible. And my pastor and his wife basically said the exact opposite of what was in the Bible. I mean, they were trying to convince me otherwise, and I was like, wait a minute, this can't be right, But, they're much older. They've been in church all their lives or whatever. So I said, okay. They acted like the experience that I had from the Most High was from a demon. That's what they acted like at church. As when I spoke of it, everyone got quiet. That's another story. So I went home and I was feeling some type of way. I wasn't feeling discouraged because I know where the reception came from. I know what I got came from the Most High. So a second time, I went to the church doing Bible study, and I tried to talk to them again about an experience I had and something that I was doing and practicing that was in the Bible. Again, this time they used scripture against what I said, scripture against scripture. And they also made it seem like it it was something demonic, that I was confused, and then they went against the Bible again. So I realized at this point, wow, where is this place? I can't, I realize, I can't invite anybody to my church. I just can't do it. I don't want, I don't want to suffer the consequences of having them be misled. So I'm in the church, mind my business. I start having dreams about like me trying to get out of the church and there's people behind me and I'm afraid. I'm trying to get out the door. The door's locked. I can't get out. Anyway, that's another story. So I asked the Most High one day, I said, let me know, this is last year sometime now, I asked him, will you let me know who the children of Israel are and if I'm actually of the house of Israel? Because I wasn't really sure. I was like, that's not something that I'm really aware of. I was raised up in a Christian church, blah, blah, blah. So 7-8 months later, I'm telling you, I didn't get a response right away because I probably was not ready for that. 7 to 8 months later, I kept asking every so and so. I would pray about it. So 7 to 8 months later, I went to sleep, and immediately, people. I don't say a lot of these things that I go through. I try to, but people like to try to tell me, everyone has strange dreams, and I try to tell them this was not a dream that I had. I know a dream, and this was not a dream. I don't even hardly dream anymore. I'm taken to places. So I was taken into this place in the spirit, I guess you could say, and it was a desert, and I know I wasn't sleeping. I was living here. I experienced everything. It was this wide desert, and there was a line of people. Everyone was in this long single file line, and I could see every single face until there were so many faces that I couldn't focus on the faces anymore. They were all black people on horses, on camels, on donkeys. Like they were all sitting on top of some type of animal in this long line, like they were going somewhere. And the women and the men all had their heads covered. They had on clothes I'd never seen. I don't know if they're ancient clothes. I don't know if they're clothes from the future. I think it was ancient. And they had all these like, I don't know, it was like shiny clothes. It's really garments I've never seen. Like, I don't know if it was silk or velvet. I've never seen clothes like this. But they were all decorated with like gold threads and silver thread and all this stuff. And I think they were talking amongst themselves. I was standing just like I'm looking at the camera now, and they were all facing me. And it was like the brightest day, but I didn't see the sun. And from behind me, a voice came out of the sky, and everyone in this single file line, mind you, there was too many people to count. In this line, I couldn't count. I saw every face until I couldn't focus on the faces anymore. It was too many of them. There was too many people to count. Everyone got silent, including myself, because I was thinking like, where was this place? Who are these people? I wasn't thinking after that when we all heard that voice in the sky, everybody got quiet. And I knew it was Yah, it was the Most High speaking to this crowd of people, this group in this long procession line. So everyone was just silent. No one, like, I wasn't even thinking anymore. That's my thoughts themselves got quiet. That doesn't happen often. So, and I don't remember what Yah said. I wish I could. I don't remember what he said, but I remember knowing, like, that's God speaking. I wasn't afraid. I was afraid. I was afraid to talk. Everybody was afraid to talk. Everyone was just listening and being like people weren't even breathing loud. You could hear anything but him talking once he began. And I realized I couldn't see him. He was behind me. They were all facing forward to him. So when he finished talking, I woke up and I just praised the Most High and thanked him because I realized he answered my question. So yes, these so-called African Americans and black people, all that here in the United States and many other places in South America, those that were transferred in the slave trade, that's the 400-year captivity that's spoken of in Genesis. It's right in the beginning. And a part of this is why in the Christian church to tell you, the Old Testament's been fulfilled with the coming of Christ. You don't need to read the Old Testament. It's all over. No, it's not. The Old Testament is a testament of things to come. It talks about what's happening in these days right now. Long story short, that was my answer. The Most High didn't just tell me the answer, just, send me somebody. He actually picked me up and took me to the place where those people were, where the house of Israel was. So I got this. So again, this is not something a man told me. This isn't even something I read in the Bible. This is a response that I received from Yah himself, you see. So I know what I know. No one's going to tell me otherwise. Ever since then, I've been on a specific journey, I guess you could say. And now I no longer take teachings from Gentiles because, and this is not a message of hatred at all, but Gentiles do not know who the Most High is. They never have, and many of them never will. Many of the Israelites don't know who the Most High is. I'm just learning in part. I had to come out of church to even, because the church is not teaching the house of Israel who they really are. The church is teaching a doctrine of plant a seed and you'll be blessed. Give me money and you'll be blessed. You see? Anyway, that's another story. So this is basically, I think I'll title this The House of Israel, just so people know.